morning. Hello. Hello, can you hear me now? I don't know what I did. Tristan Lee, I can't hear nothing else no more. You gotta get on. I'm here? Oh. Can you hear me here? Yep. Check. There we go. Check. I'm here. I can hear me. I am here. Good morning. Can I hear me here? Here we go. All right. And good morning. Spark FM Online, number one for urban and Caribbean music. Hot Sauce, Miss Toni be knowing. Rockstone Triz is somewhere in the backgroundation, hanging out, doing what he does as he does what he does. Miss Toni, how you doing today?
I am great.
You don't sound great.
I'm doing as best as I can possibly be doing.
That's what I like to hear.
This is what I've got.
That is what I like to hear.
What I've got. Yes, and how are you, Saucy?
I am well. You know what? I can't really do too much complaining. It's good to be back in the studio. It's good to be back here at Spark FM Online. It is just really a fun day.
It is.
I don't know. It's not a fun day because I woke up today and I'm like, I looked outside and I said, you know what? I'm tired of Boston. Because when we was away, everybody was like, it's so nice, 80 degrees. We outside, we at the beach, we having a good time. And now we're back and it's like, it's so dreary and
terrible,
sad, and nobody's even having any fun here. So I'm not sure what is going on or how this is going to happen.
Know what that means?
Yeah.
You got to go away more often.
I think so too. I think that we definitely got to go away more often because it's one of those, it's that kind of time. We're on that type of time.
Yes.
So do a quick check-in. How you been this weekend? I know you just got back Friday.
Quick check-in. Sauce and I went on the Uber Soca cruise. We was out there Ubering and soaking, and it was quite a time. Lots of things happened on Uber Soca cruise. Quite an adventure. If you've never been, you should. You need to experience it yourself at some point. And it was just, it was a time. It was a time.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely a time. This is our second time on Uber Soca.
Our second one.
It's a lot.
We're veterans at this point.
Veterans.
I
like that. I feel like it's a lot going on at Uber Soca Cruise. I'm not sure that I can keep up.
So this is the thing now, is that our first Uber Soca Cruise we were on Boat 1 in 2019, which was the last time that Uber Soca went out. Mm-hmm. There was Boat 1 and then there was Boat 2. But 2019 was the last year that Uber Soca went out. Yep. So this was the return. And they wanted to return in a grand way. And so they did a lot of things. A whole lot of things.
Quite a lot of things.
Yeah, and so it was a lot.
Yes. It was a lot. It was a lot. Juve, it was Carnival Road, it was Rafter Party, it was big concerts, it was in-town concerts, it was on-the-boat concerts.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was party till 7 a.m.
Yes.
Every night. It was a lot. It was they used a new cruise line, so they used Norwegian this time, which, a lot of people who were veterans, meaning that they had been on Uber Soca before, were not quite happy with the service on I keep calling them North Carolina.
No, what did I call it? I called it
some plane or something. I don't know. So Norwegian wasn't as I didn't accommodating. Yeah. I had an amazing room, which was super dope. That was I'd take that. But it was a different experience, but quite an experience nonetheless. Fun. I have no voice. My body feels broken, and I've got this nasty sunburn.
Let me see what yours looks like now.
Well, I put my cream on it this morning.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's working. But it's a nasty, nasty sunburn.
Yeah.
And then it's peeling. And before it peeled, it kind of bubbled over. So it was like a whole bunch of little wet bumps.
I never got any bubbles.
Really? And I don't understand why, because I use sunscreen. So anyhow, but the raft up party. So we had a raft up party in St. Martin. I'm sure a lot of you heard about the raft up party.
Oh.
Raft up was amazing. It was it not flawless, but a nice time, a very good concept, I would say. After the raft up, the unfortunate incident happened where the young man, was in an accident and suffered a amputation. So that was the raft up in St. Martin. The very next day was a carnival road in St. Lucia. So everybody in their costumes up and down the road in St. Lucia, 3 big trucks, great DJs on the road, hot as piss and crazy. And then the very next day again was the Juve in St. Thomas, which was a long road, 4 trucks, blazing hot sun. They did have water trucks, which was amazing. I spent lots of time under the water trucks. And so that happened. And then at the end of that was a grand finale concert out in Carnival Park.
Carnival Park.
Or something like that it was called.
Was it called that?
Yeah, it was like Carnival Park or something like that.
I didn't even know it had a name. I thought it was a big ass field.
No. So that happened. And then in the meantime, in between that, there were all the themes on the boat. There were 2 themes per day, one in the day, one in the night. And there were concerts on the boat, and there were after parties, like 3 after parties per night. And then another one that ended at 7 a.m. So it's wild.
Yeah, it was wild. We'll get into more detail about it tomorrow when Tristan's back, and we can call in some reinforcements. Our correspondent on the floor, in the fields, so we can get because she actually participated in everything. So we want to get a full recapitulation of her experience. And I think she's a first time Uber. We'll talk to Chemo tomorrow. Just gotta get everything up and ready. But other than that, you had a good time, Miss Toni?
I did.
Good.
I did. I made the best of everything.
Yes. Today, we are right off of vacation. After vacation, people usually take a look at their bank account and say, WTF did I effing do? So right after vacation, we decided that we're going to hop right back into Money Matters Monday, so we can find out how we can fix the damage that we have done. So we'll be talking to Mr. Johnny Charles of Chase Bank a little bit later today, in a couple of minutes. So make sure you guys keep it locked right here to Spark FM Online. We're going to start with our Around the Way news. We'll breeze through that so we can sit and talk about our finances for the spring and summer season, because that is when y'all be doing the most, going out to brunch every Sunday, popping bottles at your little day parties, taking vacations with your bays or somebody else's bay. Lots of things going on. So we got to make sure that we are prepared to do what we got to do. Yeah. With that said, let's get right into the top 5 news stories real quick. And then we'll get into that Money Matters Monday segment where you guys can ask your questions in the chat and all of the other grand things as such. That's what I like to say. I like to say as such when I don't know what else to say.
That's a good filler.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
So let's see. Today is February 17th. Wow, it's the 17th already?
Yeah, it's like April 17th.
What? Oh, yes. It's April 17th.
Yeah.
Very much. I'm 2 months off. Today is April 17th. Today is Monday. Showers in the high of 50. Showers today, high of 58, low of 48. Considerable cloudiness with occasional rain showers, high of 57, 58. Winds about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So that means it's not going to be very windy, but it is going to just be dreary and ugly. Chances of rain are about 60%. And that's where we're at today. It's a gloomy day.
I think it's going to be pretty gloomy all week, isn't it?
There's no school today. There's no school this week.
Yep.
It's the April vacation week. And then especially today. What holiday is today?
Patriots Day.
Really?
Yeah, it's the Marathon Monday.
Oh, yes. I was literally like, what is today? It can't be President's Day. I don't know what it is. Okay. That makes sense. Anyways, let's start it off. Marathon start times, road closures, and start area maps. So that is happening today in the rain. This is good weather for them, though. It's not hot. It's like a little bit chilly, a little rainy. You get a little bit of moisture while you're running 26 goddamn miles. That's a lot of
26
miles.
miles.
That's a lot of miles. So let's get, it starts in Hopkinton.
Yes.
The 127th Boston Marathon is Monday. Roads surrounding the start line and town common will close around 6:30 a.m. So that means they have already been closed, and all of the roads leading into the downtown area will be closed to general traffic at 7 a.m. The following roads will be shut off: West Main Street, Wood Street, Hayden Road, Ash Street, Cedar Street, East Main Street. Additionally, all roads adjacent to the roads where runners, spectators, volunteers, and workers are located will be blocked. Roads are scheduled to reopen at 1:30 p.m. today. Followings are the start times for the race. Oh, I didn't know that you know what? Learn something new every day. I didn't know they had different start times for everything. Military marches at 6, men's wheelchair 9:02, women's wheelchair 9:05, hand cycles and duos 9:30, professional men 9:37, professional women 9:47, and para athletic division at 9:50. And there are different waves: 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, there's a different start time for the men and for the women?
For the men and for the women in both wheelchair, regular running, and yeah. I didn't know all of that was going. It makes sense though. It makes sense. I never thought about the schematics in the whole thing. So this actually makes sense that there would be different start times since there's so many runners out there. Would you ever run a marathon, Miss Toni?
I don't even like to run to the store. You talking about running to the marathon? I like to run downstairs, answer the doorbell. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do none of that.
I don't like to run nothing. I don't like to run numbers. I don't like to run it by you. I don't like to do anything that has to do with run.
You're stupid.
Unless it's a liquor store run.
Unless it's a liquor store run.
I would do that.
Snacks run. There was in doing this, I realized in getting prepared for today's show, I realized that there is another race. So yesterday I found out about the 26 True race, and I have invited the people of the race into the station to talk to us about this. I wish I had known about it from before. But the 26 True race is a race that was established to bring the quality of the Boston Marathon into the inner city of Boston. So basically what that means is when you think about the Boston Marathon, it runs through the most affluent neighborhoods in Massachusetts, or Boston for that matter: Hopkinton, Newton, Boonton, Luton, and Drewton.
Oh, wow.
All of those, right?
Oh. Goodbye. I'm gonna hang up.
All of those tons: Hopkinton, Newton, some ton, blah blah blah, except for Boston. So the True 26 or 26 True is our city, our way, and it's sponsored by Pioneers Runners Club. And what it does is that it takes the marathon length, which is 26 miles, and it brings it through the hood. So basically, Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, they start at Hyde Park Community Center. They go to Ashmont Station, Park Plaza, Boylston, and downtown, Brookline Place and Brookline, Malcolm X, Roxbury. They got free coffee and donuts will be provided to all the spectators. But this happened on the 15th. So this happened 2 days before the actual marathon. And it seems to only be growing in size. I think they started out with about 70 runners this time around. And I think that's absolutely
huge.
amazing. That's very, very huge.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about this because I've always thought about, like, you got to go downtown. I've never been on the run route or anything like that. So I don't even know what it's like. I don't know what the excitement is, but I'm just thinking about how dope it is to see runners running 26 miles through like greater Boston. Right. That sounds dope to me. That sounds like a real representation of Boston.
I know. I would have liked to see it.
Me too. Next year, we in that.
Buy that.
Okay. Yes. Marathon. So DA, bodies of missing Medford man found in a storage unit. Oh, there's 2 bodies found in a Medford storage unit. Is that what we're doing? We're killing people and putting them in storage units now? That's nice. A 37-year-old Medford man has been charged with murder after the bodies of 2 missing Medford men were found in a storage unit, according to Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan. Leonid Volkov is accused in the death of Pavel Vixen and this other person who's 37, who were last seen on March 30th and were reported missing by friends and co-workers on Sunday. Police arrested Volkov on Saturday. Ryan and Volkov's apartment was a point of contention with the couple. It was a shocking end to a missing person investigation. Late Friday, police executed a search warrant on a storage facility unit on North Beacon Street in Brighton, which had been rented by Volkov using one of the victims' names, and found the bodies of Shunkin and Vixen in those storage units.
These 2 pictures are the 2 people that were found?
Yeah,
that looks like a woman and a man.
That looks like a complete It could be. It could be not. They identify as a woman, as a man.
Okay.
The body of the man identified as Mr. Shunkin had in fact been dismembered and had been placed amongst several of those bins.
Oh.
Voltog, who was known to the victims, is now charged with murder. Mr. Shunkin had been a guarantor on a lease of Mr. Volkov's for an apartment here in Medford. As a result of some dispute, Mr. Shunkin recently declined to continue in the role. A guarantor on a lease basically taking on the responsibility to pay the rent if the renter defaults. So what is a co-signer?
Yeah.
They were co-workers. The 2 were missing about a week ago, but Ryan said that Shunkin was last seen alive on March 29th. That's when he and Volvek were seen conversing inside the cab of a rented U-Haul truck. We later determined that an individual identified as Mr. Volkov had seen in video in ensuing days, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what's going on, but I know that man killed those 2 people and chopped them up and put them in a storage unit, and that is terrible.
Awful.
That is terrible.
People's crazy. Yes,
they are still investigating that case, and he's got to go away for quite a long time because that's crazy. Golden Retrievers across Boston Marathon finish line to honor
Buddy.
Buddy died
Buddy,
recently.
Right?
Yeah, he died recently this year, like a couple of months ago. So I was seeing the pictures, all the little Golden Retrievers and their parents. They were so cute.
Oh, and the dogs' names are Spencer and Penny. There's no Buddy.
Oh. Spencer and Penny.
Spencer and Penny, in honor of Spencer and Penny. It was just a sea of golden and smiling faces.
And you know what? I want a Golden Retriever.
We had one, and Mommy made us give him away.
We had one for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And she sent him away.
She
and
did.
We were dog lovers.
We were devastated.
Just because we didn't want to walk it or feed it.
I know.
I want that dog back, though.
You think he's still around?
No.
No.
But still, I do want a Golden Retriever in general.
Golden Retrievers are a good dog.
Can you get me one?
No.
Please?
I'm not a dog person.
You don't have to be a dog person. You just have to get me one of them.
I'm supposed to get it from?
The dog place?
A dog store?
Yes.
No.
Oh, Shakay has one named Coco. They are the sweetest dog. Shakay, can I have it?
When did you get a dog?
I know. When did you have a dog, Mom?
Ew.
I want that dog. Let's see. Police investigating large crime scene in Quincy. It's terrible. What is a large crime? Several Quincy police cruisers could be seen at the intersection of Center and Granite Street. A house on the corner could also be seen surrounded by crime scene tape. Police were also spotted leading department K9s around the neighborhood. Quincy PD did not disclose what the police were investigating, so why are we reading about it? And why is it in the news? That's so crazy. There was a large crime scene. We don't know what happened, but we know that there were people there. And it was a crime scene.
It says, no, we don't know what happened, but more information will be revealed on Monday morning. It's Monday morning. We want to know now what the hell is going on.
Boston police discovered 6 loaded firearms after shots in Dorchester. I'm wondering if this is the one where I was watching the news today. The lady, why did I say Sunday? Maybe Sunday, I guess it was. They had just finished Easter dinner and was getting ready for bed. Shots rang out. The little boy's walking in his room, got shot by a stray bullet in his leg. There was another shot that went through the TV and one that shot through her car.
That was last Sunday.
Was it last Sunday?
Last Sunday was Easter.
Was it?
Yes. Where are you? Come back.
I have no idea what day it is and what week it is. Where was I watching that today then?
I don't know.
How did I get last week's news today? I don't know either. I'm sorry, people, but I literally watched that this morning in my bed. I don't know. It must have been a redacted story or something like that, because I swear to God I saw that this morning, because I didn't watch no other place. And then last but not least, 3 New England cities among the rudest in the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Massachusetts.
Well, it's New England cities, so they're not all Massachusetts, but there definitely is one Massachusetts.
Let's see. I'm just going to try to find them.
It's, I think Boston is one of them.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Boston's pretty rude. New Haven, Connecticut ranks 27th on the list. Where else?
Providence, Rhode Island just barely made out, coming in as number 30th. Providence is number 30. Where's the whole list? New Haven is 27th. And sports team and
Boston ain't one.
Isn't that? So what's the rudest?
Boston's winters have
what's the
seen
rudest
the
city in New
locusts.
England? Boston, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Boston is also the rudest city in the nation,
Yep.
according to the sports.
In the nation?
Yep. Because of the lack of manners.
Yep,
Yeah.
lack of manners and being paranoid about dealing with strangers have all been hurled in Boston's direction, resulting in possibly being the rudest U.S. city of them all.
Yep. It says, sadly, personalities that have been described as being as cold as Boston winters have seen the locals earn one of the worst reputations when it comes to rudeness. A lack of manners and being paranoid, like you said. So Boston, yes, the rudest.
Rounding up that list, 30 is Providence, 29 is San Diego, a whale's vagina.
A whale's vagina.
28, Salt Lake City. 27, New Haven, Connecticut. San Francisco. I thought San Francisco was mad chill and beautiful and nice.
I thought they were so nice
and
there.
trolleys.
Yeah.
Anchorage, Alaska. What y'all got to be mean and rude about?
Because it's dark there all the time.
True,
it's
true.
dark like 30 hours a day.
Delaware, Texas. Dallas, Texas had that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Everything's
wow.
bigger in Texas.
Cincinnati, Baltimore, Portland, Oregon, Miami, Florida.
Really?
Well, they're racist and sexist and transist and all kinds of stuff down there. So I'm pretty sure they should have been number 1. DeSantis he just signed a bill that you can't get abortion after 6 weeks unless you show proof that you have been raped or had incest. You got to show proof. How you show proof of incest?
You got to bring your birth certificate. I don't know.
Atlanta, Georgia is at 18. Santa Fe, New Mexico, Los Angeles, blase, and yes, Boston rounds off at number 1. I think that Boston gets such a bad rep all the time.
Because y'all people are rude in Boston.
Who's y'all?
You. Just look what you just did when you were reading thing. You were like, blase, blah, whatever.
Because North Carolina, number 3. Ann Arbor, Michigan, and yes, Boston,
I don't believe North
Massachusetts.
Carolina. Shanae lives there. It's the most pleasant place on earth. I'm sure.
Anyways, Boston is rude. We don't care.
Get over it.
Blah. Take your little list and go somewhere else with it because we don't care.
Well, they don't call us massholes for nothing.
Exactly. Speaking of massholes, we're going to get into our Mass Money Matters Monday. See what I tried to do there?
Not a good transition. No.
I tried that. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Keep it locked right here. Spark FM Online, number 1 for urban and Caribbean music. Yes, people, we are back. Give me a little 2 seconds to get back into the actual date that we are in, because clearly I am not faring too well this morning.
That's all.
We'll be right back in a few seconds with Money Matters Monday. Johnny Charles from Chase Bank. Be right back.
The only thing that does matter is great music, and you will find it here.
The all-new Spark FM.
2023 is the 50th anniversary of our beloved love it hip-hop. Join Spark FM as we tour our favorite black-owned hotspots and VIP style. Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, Spark FM Online presents Bars Volume 2, Boston Black Bar and Restaurant Tour, featuring Pearl, Slades, Daryl's, Wally, Savor, and Estelle's. Appetizers, drinks, specials, spit your bars, networking event, and giveaways. 21 and up and proper ID will be checked. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the parking lot meeting location. For more information, check out sparkbarcrawl2.eventbrite.com.
Boston and surrounding communities. Boston Lesbi Gay Urban Foundation and Fenway Health Center is coming to inform you on how important it is to protect yourself from COVID-19. Let's get vaccinated. Let's encourage our loved ones and community friends and family to get boosted. Getting a COVID shot and a booster shot will help save more lives. Guess what? If you receive a vaccination, Blue will give you a one-day pass to any Urban Pride event, July 1st to July 3rd, 2023. To get connected to a health center near you, email info@lesbiagayurbanfoundation.org or visit the CDC website to learn more. Boston and surrounding communities. Boston Lesbi Gay Urban Foundation and Fenway Health Center is coming to inform you on how important it is to protect yourself from COVID-19. Let's get vaccinated. Let's encourage our loved ones and community friends and family to get boosted. Getting a COVID shot and a booster shot will help save more lives. Guess what? If you receive a vaccination, Blue will give you a one-day pass to any Urban Pride event, July 1st to July 3rd, 2023. To get connected to a health center near you, email info@lesbiagayurbanfoundation.org or visit the CDC website to learn more.
Moonbox Productions is thrilled to present The House of Ramon Iglesia by Jose Rivera. Directed by Arthur Gomez, The House of Ramon Iglesia opens April 14th and runs through April 30th at the Mosesian Center for Arts in Watertown. A poignant play about Americanized son's torturous efforts to break away from his immigrant parents. A break that can't be made until he accepts the ethnic heritage he spent his life trying to suppress. Tickets are $55 for general admission, $45 for seniors, and $20 for student rush half hour prior to performance, and are available at www.mosesianarts.org. Pay what you can. Tickets are available at the door.
Have questions about the COVID vaccine or booster? Need help making the right decision for you? The COVID vaccine and booster have been proven as safe and effective options and are now readily available to adults and children alike. Harbor Health wants to help make sure our community is healthy and safe. Visit hhsi.us/COVID vaccine for help with vaccine information. Let's make our community a COVID safe harbor for everyone. Get your booster now. Brought to you by your friends at Harbor Health.
Finally Home is a must-read step-by-step guide that will equip any first-time homebuyer with the knowledge they need to confidently make informed decisions. This book provides answers in simple and clear terms to most, if not all, of the questions you may have about credit, home ownership, and generational wealth. Finally Home equips the reader with the confidence to be engaged with the home buying process without feeling vulnerable or exploited. Tailor-made Real Estate Easy is not just a catchy hashtag. It is real estate agent and radio personality Taylor Andre's goal. A goal to simplify one of the most challenging processes you will go through as an adult. A goal to educate you properly on credit and teach you the strategies to finding the home of your dream. It is not just a good book or an easy read. It is the secret to a seamless home buying experience.
Spark FM.
Your medication makes me high.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I woo. And she let it clap for it.
Join us on Facebook and Instagram at sparkfmonline.com. Turn us up.
She like man, we ride. Big ride, big ride, big.
Spark FM.
And we are back. We are back. We are back. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. Rockstone Triz is doing his thing from remotely. I think he's discovered that he can do things remotely, so we might not be seeing a lot of him, which might be a problem here. God damn it. Because I miss him already. I haven't seen Rockstone Triz in about 2 weeks. Where is my Rockstone? But anyways, it's time for Money Matters Monday. And we have our favorite Mr. Johnny in the building with us today. Welcome back, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you well. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes. Money Matters Monday. Like I was saying, Miss Toni and I just got back from vacation.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's an accomplishment.
We did good. We were able to get in there on a very special situation, so we didn't spend too much.
Okay.
But in general, we would have spent quite a coin. So as we're coming back, I know that we are going to be talking about like the overall planning for small businesses and for yourself, even if this affects you in any type of way. And also we are going to be talking about getting prepared for the next couple of months of this season, of this year.
Yep.
So, okay, let's start out here. In the beginning of the year, everybody wants to get their books in order. And we're talking businesses for the most part for right now. Everybody's trying to get ready for the year. So we are past first quarter.
Yep.
What do what do businesses typically look like around here? What's going on?
So let me back up and start off. So Johnny Charles, representing Chase Bank, VP, senior business consultant for Chase. So support small businesses, minority entrepreneurs, minority owners throughout the city of Boston. Typically, I work with small businesses that range from annual sales of $100,000 a year and up, in existence for at least 2 years. But obviously if there's potential in growth and you don't meet those criteria, I typically would work with you. And if you're a startup interested in just some tips around how to get started or continue your momentum in business, particularly proving yourself in the marketplace, we can also have that conversation as well too. And mainly focus out of or house out of Mattapan branch, but I'm throughout the city.
Are you guys seeing an influx of businesses starting or?
Yes, in a lot of ways. I mean, I would say the influx, because I don't have the numbers right now, but I would say the influx is in just there's some traffic in terms of deposits, considering Silicon Valley Bank and those changes.
Oh yeah.
So there's activity around that. But in terms of folks stopping by, opening accounts, particularly small businesses, definitely.
Good. That sounds good.
Nice.
And so to answer your question around what small business. So before I answer your question, let me go back to the comment before I got on.
Which one?
You know, I ain't trying to run nothing. I ain't trying to run nowhere. I ain't trying to run my numbers. I mean, I think right now, if we want to talk about the state of small business, with the combination of this weather, with the combination of all the things that's going on, ain't nobody trying to run nothing.
Nothing, yes.
You know, but so you look at the first quarter, and oftentimes folks are going, "Oh man, I overspent."
Yeah.
You know, some may have or may not have budgeted, but they overspent. And so rather than focus on the next quarter, typically my conversations revolve around, all right, what does the rest of the year look like? So look at quarter 2, looking at quarter 3, and looking at quarter 4. And typically what we'll do is we'll start with, did you file? Because it's tax season.
Because let's put that out there right now. So I think
tomorrow?
It's tomorrow's
the deadline.
Tomorrow is the deadline, people. So businesses, get it together. Get it together.
And it's okay if you need to file an extension. For those, if this is your first year in business and you're trying to figure it out and you're hesitating a little bit, understand that you can file an extension as well too. But consult with a tax advisor, get with somebody ASAP to figure out what that looks like.
And that's not something that you guys provide. They would need to find outside counsel.
They would.
Okay.
They would. If they need support in finding that and having a conversation around what that means, they can feel free to contact me over at Mattapan branch as well too.
And I want to put a little little pin in that too. And I think we've discussed this before, but there are a couple of things that businesses should have on hand, especially when it comes to tax season in general. Either a bookkeeper, accountant, a tax strategist, something like that. A finance officer, somebody who just has all of that paperwork, documentation, who can find it quickly and knows somebody or has somebody that you can. Every business should just have an accountant, period.
You should have a team with you,
yes.
right? And so sometimes a tax preparer may not always be the bookkeeper. The bookkeeper may not always be the tax preparer. And they also may not be the CPA or the financial strategist for you.
I literally just found out not the other day, but maybe like a year ago, because I was like, I get an accountant. And then the accountants be like, oh, I only do bookkeeping. Oh, I only do this. And I was like, oh, there's a whole thing up in here.
Yeah, ask specific questions about what they do. Ask about taxes. Ask about bookkeeping. Because oftentimes some folks don't want to do both. Some may choose one or the other, depending on their clientele and their skill set and time.
So you have a banker, a bookkeeper, and a tax preparer?
Sometimes they can all be the same three, but they don't all have to be the same three.
Right.
Okay.
My new one is all three, which is awesome. He has a small team that does bookkeeping. He does tax strategy and accounting. So I was like, okay, all right. Because I'm not doing this. I can't find all three of you guys. Because another thing with that, if you do have all three, if you can't find one that's all, you need to find people that work good together with other people, because some accountants don't like how some bookkeeping is bookkeepers. And so it's just, it's a thing.
Let me tag on to that. Part of the reason why it's hard and some people don't like it, oftentimes if you have more than one person working on your numbers, they have to speak to each other in the sense that the work and just actual communication. So what that can also mean is that if you have a system, a POS system, like a QuickBooks, right? Okay. If your QuickBooks is organized a certain way and the tax preparer or the accountant isn't used to that, then it could set off everything. And so your ledger, in terms of how you organize what's an expense, in terms of organizing what is actually considered revenue and when you get revenue, when it comes in, there are some general rules around what that means for your business. And so, and it has to be recognizable to both folks who are working on it. So that's why sometimes it's hard. So sometimes it really comes down to communication more than anything else.
Okay. Oh, see, man, you learn something new every day here at Spark FM. Every day. Okay, so preparing for because at this point we've overspent, we might have underspent, we need to catch up, we need to catch back, we need to run it back.
Make sure, and at this point right now, I think the most important thing is your paperwork.
Yes.
Right? So making sure that all expenses are accounted for, all revenue is accounted for, and making sure that as you're doing and preparing for your taxes, what are the things that need to be deducted? What are the things that need to be itemized? And understanding that language and having a conversation with the tax preparer. But right now, it's really taking account what happened in quarter one. So therefore, you're learning lessons.
Okay.
And this is not one of those examples where you say, I overspent, I got my credit card statement, and I'm not going to look at the details, and I'm going to move on. I'm just going to pay it off and move on. No, take a look at those details. What are you being charged? See what you actually spent and why. And I think the most important thing is just make sure, whether or not you did it, make sure you're moving with purpose. For me, it's more spiritual than anything else, but everything's holistic. So make sure you're moving with purpose. So if the purpose of the business is to grow, make sure everything that you're doing is alignment to that. And not just looking at just quarter one, but look at it for the rest of the year. And so if I could be personal, so I know y'all just came from vacation. So I just got engaged, right?
Yeah. Freaking congratulations!
Thank you. And took a trip and came back from vacation, went off to Turks and Caicos, which was great. But it had to be budgeted for.
Turks and Caicos is expensive.
It is.
Because we've only been to what? The little off island, the Grand Turk?
Yeah, we're going to keep it moving because we're not going to focus on that budget. But that had to be planned for, understanding that we still got 3/4 of the year going on.
Yeah.
And so for me, understanding that, hey, listen, I know we celebrated, but April 1st, there's a budget. Everything is shut down.
And then now you're planning for a wedding.
Yeah.
So that's
a whole nother thing. But there's other things included in that in terms of investments and other stuff. But the point is even after that big spending, making sure that you're taking the time out to continue budgeting for it.
So how do you get back to the budgeting after you've gone so much over?
Well, first of all, you shouldn't go so much over.
But if you did,
but
Johnny.
if you did, the mindset is that you made sacrifices when you went over.
Okay.
So that means you need to make sacrifices when you budget.
Okay.
So what are you not going to do? Because you have to take something off. And I think sometimes it's hard for us to take things off. And I'm going to always go back to this. And I talk about this with colleagues and other people. Make sure that you're taking into account emotionally what you're going through. Because, and I'm always going to go back to therapy.
I like that, yeah.
Because oftentimes when we're spending, we spend emotionally. And so whether we're running from something or holding on to something, there are other reasons why we're going over budget.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to go home because I'm trying to run away from so many other things.
Yep.
I ain't trying to deal with cousin and them because I know they're going to ask for money and I can't say no.
Yeah.
But you got to really focus on you and spend the time getting to know you and why you feel the way that you feel.
I like
because
that.
that's connected to your money.
This sounds like
Very
therapy
nice.
right now. That is, write this down. Connected to me and my money.
It's all purpose.
Yeah, it's all
I'm
purpose.
gonna replay this show and meditate to it later.
I mean, but it's true. Like when you sit down and think, when you hear things like put in that type of way where you've got to really kind of make the sacrifice and you've got to not spend emotionally. Because I think that's how I do too. Like when I get sad or something, I'm like, you know what? Damn it. I had a bad day. I'm going to go buy this $56 steak and just eat it by
emotional
myself.
eating.
When I looked at the amount of sneakers that I had,
Man,
I said,
when I looked at the most of sneakers you had, I was like,
wow, I'm very emotional. Let me check that real quick.
And sometimes it's more so I need to show a certain way. I need to show up a certain way because this is how I feel, right?
Yeah.
Which could be expressive.
Absolutely.
But sometimes I need to hide so many things because I'm feeling a certain way.
Yeah.
So getting to the bottom of that is important. And oftentimes in the one-on-one consultation that I do, I think when people hear, oh, you do small business consultation, I'm going, yeah. And the first thing they think of is like, wow, you about to get my numbers up.
Yeah.
And I'm going, yeah, that is the goal. That's the hope.
if they can.
If you can. But a lot of it starts with you. And a lot of what I do is behavior change.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is, if you don't know the numbers, let's get familiar with some of the terminology. If you don't know how to project out, let's practice thinking about how do we plan for tomorrow and the next following months. So a lot of it is behavior change. And so by the time we have a conversation, folks are like, oh, okay, great. But they're also sharing their life story with me. And so this goes back to what I said before. It's all about purpose.
Yeah.
So when you follow your purpose as it relates to the business and your personal life, everything else falls in line. Because the overspending don't really happen as much.
They don't, yeah.
Because every single day you're waking up towards a particular goal.
Yeah.
That's also adding up to a broader goal. So getting aligned is really important.
How do you maybe this is it. Maybe I need to sit down and talk to you anyways. How do you budget when some months you might not spend anything at all, and then other months you might drop a hefty bag on something? Like, how do you really be prepared to budget for that? I know for a fact that these last couple of months, we haven't, but then I did. And then moving forward, I know in the next couple of months, we're going to be spending heavily on different events. It's the summertime. We've got a lot going on. How do you make sure that your ish stays balanced?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, trying to figure out, I think of it from the perspective of funds, right? So for those of us that grew up in church, there's the church fund, there's the rainy day fund,
building fund,
there's the building fund,
air conditioner fund, roof.
So when you think about budgeting and saving, you're saving towards a particular fund.
Okay.
And so there always has to be, even on a personal level, there's got to be an emergency fund.
Yeah.
And so when the contingencies come up, then that's what you're tapping into. Now, if you're constantly tapping into the emergency fund, it means you're not putting away enough.
Okay.
So either you're not putting away enough or you're not raising enough. Okay. And if you're not raising enough, it goes back to personal. And I keep tying the two together because oftentimes with business owners, when you're at a particular level, you have to understand the way you personally practice and behave with money is going to fall into the way you do it through business. And so if you're not if you don't save originally as an individual, you ain't going to save in business. Because the next thing, because you keep looking at all the opportunities. But what we don't put into our definition of vocabulary is our opportunity cost, What are you gaining and losing when you don't spend or when you do
Your
spend?
ROI.
You got to think about the ROI, and you got to think about the opportunities that you lose or you waste or that you're gaining from in your spending.
ROI is
return on investment.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, in terms of spring cleaning, what do we have to do in terms of spring cleaning to prepare for the next? Say we effed up in the first quarter. Going forward, not only do we need to stop in and speak to someone,
yes,
in the best scenario, you take some time out, you go speak to someone, get a little snapshot of what you're really actually doing. So then how do you prepare moving forward so that you don't do it again?
In other words, pray.
Amen.
But the other way to think about it is you have to have a team of advisors. You need a team. You need a community. You need a village. And so for me to sit here and say, hey, just allocate money towards this way, put 3% here, put 5% there, I can offer that, but I don't know what your conditions are. I don't know what your budget is. And so once I know that, it's easier for me to say allocate it here and there. But the number one thing is make sure you have a team around you so you're getting sound advice.
I like that you guys all come in here with the same message, and I do appreciate that because when Sabrina was here last time, she talked to us about the team. Everybody that's come in has talked about the team, and I don't think people realize how important that team is.
Nope.
You cannot run a lot of people think about their first hire as being a this or a that, but your first hire really got to be the team that these people have been talking about, like an accountant, a lawyer, like a business coach or something like that. But you've got to have a team around you.
You have to. You present what you want to do for the summer. You present all the opportunities that are coming up in the different ways you need to spend. Then at that point you have a budget. But then when you think about the goals and where you want to go, you're talking to your team about it. So the legal counsel, your accountant, the CPA, the tax preparer, and they will all give you advice. You're going to take snippets of those advice and you're going to adjust it to what the plan is. And that's how you really, really want to move. So it's not as easy as just saying, listen, take 1, 2, 3 steps, but you want to consult with the team and then based on your own discernment, move forward. But you always got to work from a budget and some goals and it got to draw from a purpose.
And when we talk about like projecting, I know that those are something that's going to help us when it comes to balancing for the next 3 quarters, the next 3 years, the next 3 weeks, whatever. What projection is, for those who don't know, when you're projecting, what are you doing?
So when you're projecting, you're literally just saying, here's what I'm spending and here's how I'm making for the remainder of whatever that period is, if that's for the rest of the year. Now, in those projections, which is the hardest thing, is trying to put as clarity as possible when it comes to your assumptions.
Okay.
Because a lot of the planning comes from assumptions.
And what is an assumption?
An assumption is mostly a guess, and I would say more of an educated guess more than anything else.
So it's like, I'm going to sell 5 T-shirts this month.
Right. But
and
it has to be realistic. Because if you sold 5 last month, what are the conditions you sold it in?
Okay.
Because if you only had one person that bought all 5, then that's a tough assumption.
Yes.
So which is why it's important to talk to somebody, because you have to make it as realistic as possible.
Okay.
Now, if you're going to sell 5 next month, or you're going to diversify that, is it going to be that one person that bought all 5 and 2 other people so you can maximize the opportunity, or are you only pitching to that one person? So when you're projecting, you have to put all those assumptions in alignment.
See, okay, all right, I'm there. So I'm going to sell 5 T-shirts and I'm going to sell them at a pop-up shop at whatever. So these are all the things that go into the assumption, knowing how much you're going to spend, how much you realistically are going to sell, and how you're going to sell those to make sure you reach your goals.
Correct.
Okay.
Which also come with the cost, right?
Yes.
So what is the cost of actually selling that? So what's the cost of goods?
What's the cost of going to the pop-up?
What's the cost of going to the pop-up? Are there any additional fees? Do you need transportation? And it's not easy enough to say, I'm just driving
all
there.
These assumptions?
You got to make all those assumptions, which is why.
I sure am assuming.
You're making a lot of assumptions, and when you put all those assumptions together, you look at all the assumptions you put together, and you say, oh wow. it's easier for you to move in alignment and purpose. Because instead, what people tend to do is, I don't want to think about those things.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make this much money from it.
Sell these 5 shirts.
You're just gonna sell these 5 shirts, and then you're gonna say, "Oh, I got this revenue." But when you really look at the cost it took for you to generate that revenue, it actually costs more to produce it. And which is the same thing when you overspend on vacation. It actually costs you more to get there in terms of what you got from it, right? And you can say, "Oh, I got sanity. I got my sanity back because I was relaxed." But then there's all the other bills you didn't pay while you were away.
When you come back, you ain't saying no more.
You ain't saying no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So typically going through that train of thought is really, really helpful because you're helping yourself in the long term. So we've got to get out of the sense of I'm only doing for now because we have to start thinking I'm doing for later as well.
Okay. Yeah. This makes sense. And I think that's what I hate about speaking to people who make sense is because it does make sense, right? Like, damn, I got to do the work. I guess I got to do the work.
Well, you know what? But you know what makes the work hard, particularly for business owners and individuals?
We don't want to.
You don't want to, but you do it in isolation.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Oftentimes you're thinking about this stuff and you're thinking about it just with you, and you're like, "Oh man, I'm waking up. Here, all the things I got to go do." But when you got a circle around you, put all that venting and concerns in that circle.
You do this.
You gonna hear me out, and then they turn around and go, "I'm tired of listening to you. Why don't you just go and do X, Y, Z?" And you ain't got no choice. Now you have a team of accountability partners who are like, "Yo, go get this done. Don't just complain to me." And then when you come back and complain, I want to hear the progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you got no choice but to make the progress. So get out of your silo and stop thinking to yourself and get it out there, and then get healthy feedback.
I think that's the most important. Not everything you said has been important, but I think that is super important.
Yep.
That this entrepreneurial journey is very, very lonely. It's very lonely. It's very claustrophobic almost because you're like, I can't do this all. But I think that when you do surround yourself with a really, really great team, and starting with that group of team, the financial advisors, business advisors, those type of people, I think that helps with clarity. And then people that you surround yourself to can help with that. The name of the game is teamwork. What's gonna work? Teamwork. And it does, and I can see it happening as I'm building my team and my squad, and like everybody's starting to go into their own parts. I feel less stressed, but I know that with the great responsibility comes great responsibility. What's the saying?
Mic drop.
With great power comes with great responsibility.
Yes, you got it. You got it. You're coming back. She's still vacation mode.
She's still
she's coming. She's coming. She's recovering.
It takes me about a week to come back because I feel like I need some time to lay down. So what other pieces of advice would you give to business owners, and this advice can be taken for personal stuff as well. Like if you got things going on, maybe you should get you a little team too. So what advice would you give us going into the next quarters of the year?
So both personal and business advice, list out the expenses, list out what you owe, and work towards getting rid of debt, particularly credit card debt, even as business owners. Limit the overspending. Anyone who's listening know exactly where they overspend.
Food.
And those costs are going up by the day. The other piece is continue to focus on, if you haven't already, continue to focus on asset building instruments. High savings accounts, getting yourself invested into the market, a home or investment property. And I know for some people who are listening, it's like, man, it's so hard to even think about it that way because I'm just trying to get the bills paid. It doesn't take much just to sit down and start a relationship with a banker. Whether or not you have an account any particular way, get yourself out there and start having those conversations because the hardest things is to get out of our own head.
And a banker is just somebody that you start a relationship with at the bank, or is it like a personal is like a biz.
You can literally walk into the bank and you can speak to the branch manager. You can walk into the bank and talk to a relationship banker. They have different terms at different banks, but relationship bankers typically work with and sit down with business owners. And you can start thinking about from the perspective of product and services, right? And so if you are a prospective client to any bank that you're not banking at, ask about their products. Tell them about your journey in terms of what your goals are. Make them work for you. Have that conversation.
See, when you're going through these things, oftentimes people feel, especially Black people, feel like they can't get a lot of the products because of whether credit or they don't have enough. How does a personal banker help you with that kind of stuff? Because I hear it from my entrepreneur friends all the time, like, I can't get a loan, I can't get a loan, I can't get a loan.
Yep.
How does that work?
In that no, oftentimes what you're also given back is why you can't get a loan, right? And in the list of why, so for example, if you couldn't get that house, why? Yeah. Was your credit not there? Did you not have enough savings to support the debt service coverage? Yeah. Which is when everything is paid, what's left over? Why was there a no? And why couldn't you have access to it? That's the why is actually even more important than the actual response.
I remember
that's
my
what you're working towards.
Why, and it was because I needed more time, and I was told, give us 6 months so that you can build this up and then come back. And then the next time I went, and sometimes it's just a waiting game. Sometimes you're just young in it. You got to come bank with us for a little bit first. To see how things are going.
Get your feet wet.
Yes.
And just to go back on when you say, Black people in general.
Yeah.
So one of the things I do for inspiration is look at, BlackHistoryToday.com. And I try to think about, from an ancestral perspective, who did what in this day, which allows me to do what I do today, right? Oh. So today is Mifflin Webster, and I think in 1873 became the first African-American judge out of Arkansas. First African-American judge.
That's dope.
And so the term or the saying, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams is absolutely true. Yeah. And I think sometimes we limit ourselves because we don't always tap into what our history is. Like there's a reason why we're all still here. Yeah. So I think tapping into what your history is, whether it's grandma or great grandma, a lot of people made sacrifices for you to be here. So it's not enough for you to wake up and say, I can't do it. Yeah. Because a lot of people have. And I know that's easier said than done, but take it from me, I got my own history. Yeah. And so I wake up like, man, my grandfather couldn't imagine where I'm at today.
Not even a clue.
Like living in Mattapan, gentrifying Mattapan, like working at a bank, an institution that we historically never really trusted. Exactly. You know what I mean? And then out here doing this work, right? Yeah. And then having conversations with people, real honest conversations where folks are like, well, you just tokenized, right? And it's like, well, I look the part, I'm playing the part, but guess what? I'm also making changes on behalf of all of us.
That's right.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. So I think there are folks that there are realistic reasons why people can't push beyond in terms of getting the acceptance. But I also think there's ways around that. It's just a matter of having that team and remembering why you're here and make sure you have a purpose as to how you're working.
Absolutely.
And those things will allow you to get you to where you want to go so that your great grandkids to say, I am your wildest dream.
Oh,
I love that. I love to hear it.
Johnny, you're so damn inspirational.
I had to get that on the tape because I was like, golly. I feel like this is a great way to jump back into things personally for me. So I always appreciate hearing your candor and just how you be talking to us, like for real, and motivating us, and there's a little therapy as well. So we do appreciate you and the Chase Bank and all that you guys are doing. I gotta come see you anyways later.
Come through.
Fix some things. Fix this.
I'll be in the branch all day.
Scandalous handle.
Fixed it. So we are Money Matters Monday happens every third Monday in the month. We have our one of our favorites, because I think that at this point you guys are all our favorites. Yeah. One of our favorites, Johnny Charles, in here, who is literally like the finance guru, and he will walk you through a lot of the stuff that you need to set yourself up for greatness in life, whether personal or business. Mostly business, for you guys who are trying to increase your generational wealth and all the kinds of good things, and for you people that just got money and need some help with it. So Johnny, thank you so much. As we wrap this up, about to go to commercial break, any last minute words until we see one of y'all again?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. So a couple of things really quickly. Big ups to Boston Wild Black to their summit last week.
Yes, big up.
Big time. Big time.
We
Sheena Collier and the team. Y'all doing it, man. So big ups to you all.
I heard that y'all session was kind of lit.
Yeah, it's always lit. You know how we get down. you know how we get. Don't let me talk mine. Spark FM, congratulations. I think this week you guys have your anniversary coming up as well. 3 years, right?
Thank you very much.
So big up to y'all. Big up to y'all being the change makers. And I'm about a month late. So happy International Women's Day too.
Thank you.
Women's Day and Women's Month, because y'all holding it down all the time, every single day. And big ups to all the caregivers, particularly my black women, man, who hold this up. But thank you for the honor and the privilege to be here.
Big ups and congratulations to you again.
Yes.
That is dope. Black man, set the example.
God did.
Okay?
God did.
Set the example. We need more of y'all in
Don't
this
get
world.
me to testification.
You better run for that, though.
No, that was you running?
That was a run. That's like a new emoji right there.
All of it. Running fast.
Thank you, Johnny. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. We're going to go to a quick commercial. I'm almost there, y'all. I'm almost there. Commercial break, and we'll be right back.
You're done.
The only thing that does matter is great music, and you will find it here.
The all-new Spark FM.
2023 is the 50th anniversary of our beloved hip-hop. Join Spark FM as we tour our favorite black-owned hotspots and VIP style. Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, Spark FM Online presents Bars Volume 2, Boston Black Bar and Restaurant Tour, featuring Pearl, Slades, Daryl's, Wally, Savor, and Estelle's. Appetizers, drinks, specials, spit your bars, networking event, and giveaways. 21 and up, and proper ID will be checked. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the parking lot meeting location. For more information, check out sparkbarcrawl2.eventbrite.com.
Boston and surrounding communities, Boston Lesbi Gay Urban Foundation and Fenway Health Center is coming to inform you on how important it is to protect yourself from COVID-19. Let's get vaccinated. Let's encourage our loved ones and community friends and family to get boosted. Getting a COVID shot and a booster shot will help save more lives. Guess what? If you receive a vaccination, Blue will give you a one-day pass to any Urban Pride event, July 1st to July 3rd, 2023. To get connected to a health center near you, email info@lesbiagayurbanfoundation.org or visit the CDC website to learn more. Boston and surrounding communities, Boston Lesbi Gay Urban Foundation and Fenway Health Center is coming to inform you on how important it is to protect yourself from COVID-19. Let's get vaccinated. Let's encourage our loved ones and community friends and family to get boosted. Getting a COVID shot and a booster shot will help save more lives. Guess what? If you receive a vaccination, Blue will give you a one-day pass to any Urban Pride event, July 1st to July 3rd, 2023. To get connected to a health center near you, email info@lesbiagayurbanfoundation.org or visit the CDC website to learn more.
Moonbox Productions is thrilled to present The House of Ramon Iglesia by Jose Rivera. Directed by Arthur Gomez, The House of Ramon Iglesia opens April 14th and runs through April 30th at the Sauciest Center for Arts in Watertown. A poignant play about Americanized son's torturous efforts to break away from his immigrant parents. A break that can't be made until he accepts the ethnic heritage he spent his life trying to suppress. Tickets are $55 for general admission, $45 for seniors, and $20 for student rush half hour prior to performance, and are available at www.mosesianarts.org. Pay what you can. Tickets are available at the door.
questions about the COVID vaccine or booster? Need help making the right decision for you? The COVID vaccine and booster have been proven as safe and effective options and are now readily available to adults and children alike. Harbor Health wants to help make sure our community is healthy and safe. Visit hhsi.us/COVID vaccine for help with vaccine information. Let's make our community a COVID-safe harbor for everyone. Get your booster now. Brought to you by your friends at Harbor Health.
Finally Home is a must-read step-by-step guide that will equip any first-time homebuyer with the knowledge they need to confidently make informed decisions. This book provides answers in simple and clear terms to most, if not all, of the questions you may have about credit, home ownership, and generational wealth. Finally Home equips the reader with the confidence to be engaged with the home buying process without feeling vulnerable or exploited. Tailor-made Real Estate Easy is not just a catchy hashtag. It is real estate agent and radio personality Taylor Andre's goal. A goal to simplify one of the most challenging processes you will go through as an adult. A goal to educate you properly on credit and teach you the strategies to finding the home of your dream. It is not just a good book or an easy read. It is the secret to a seamless home buying experience.
Spark FM.
Medication. Your medication makes me high.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I woo. And she let it clap for it.
Join us on Facebook and Instagram at sparkfmonline.com. Turn us up.
She like man, we ride. Big ride, big ride, big.
Spark FM.
Spark FM Online, number one for urban and Caribbean music. We are back. We are back, and it's time to get into some more news.
That was an amazing session with Toni Charles.
That was an amazing session.
Very, very nice.
I feel motivated to do better.
Yeah, you should.
You should. You in particular should.
Yo.
Yes, so we are back. Let me see if I can get us here.
More unfortunate news right at the top. 4 people killed, 28 hurt in a mass shooting in Alabama birthday party.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. The shooter is still at large. That was as of 9:32 a.m. this morning.
How the hell you kill 4 people and injure 28 and they ain't find you?
Yeah, 4 people.
What was everybody hanging out?
They were at a birthday party, a Sweet 16 birthday party in Dadeville, Alabama on Saturday night. The shooter is still at large. Police have solid leads but need help from the public. The Dadeville Police Department has solid leads as they search for the suspected shooter, but the authorities still need help from the public, Dadeville Police Chief said. He asked anyone with photos or videos from Saturday night's Sweet 16 party to come forward. Due to the department's manpower and resources, the Alabama State Bureau of Investigations is taking the lead with the investigation. A star high school athlete was killed in the shooting.
Wow.
One of the 4 people killed was a high school football player and track team member.
Jesus.
His name was Phil Dowell. A senior at Dadeville High School, had committed to attending Jackson State University on a football scholarship in the fall. McDowell said Dowdwell was at a Sweet 16 birthday party at a venue in Dadeville when the shooting erupted. In addition to those killed, at least 28 people were injured. Dowdwell's mother, who was a chaperone at the party, was among those hurt, shot twice in the legs. Rich Rodriguez, Jacksonville State's head football coach, said in a post on Twitter that the death of Dadwell and the other victims is a senseless tragedy. He was a great young man with a bright future. My staff and I are heartbroken. McDowell said he also knew a teenage girl who was killed in the shooting. He said she was a senior and the manager of the track and football teams. In addition to being a standout wide receiver, Dodwell was also a member of the high school track team.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's
It
awful.
just happened to be one. That's 28 injured too.
28 injured, 4 dead.
The injured's not all. Obviously, the injured's are not all shot. I'm guessing some trampling.
It doesn't
probably
quite say. I mean, that boy's mother was shot twice in the legs.
Really?
Guns. Yeah, it's just really, really bad. It's a bad
They just
situation.
opened fire with a Uzi.
Was it an Uzi? Is that what they say it is?
What, is it AK? The one that they killing up everybody with
The-
the mass shooting? Are those
the
Uzi
AR-15, isn't it?
Yeah, are those Uzi? Those are not Uzi like. I don't know. I think they just one shots. I don't know anything about guns.
Yeah.
So if you guys do, like, help me out here.
Yeah. So the shooter is still at large. Still at large.
That's what I find is most insane.
That's
How
crazy.
is she still at large?
Yeah. Yeah. Border officers intercept 10 live roosters at the U.S.-Mexico border.
I think that they could have let them roosters go.
Me too. Like, is that
news?
headline?
Yeah, like
worthy.
Were they attached to humans? Like,
Yeah.
why is that something that we
I don't know.
are?
Doesn't
they were
seem-
in a bag.
In one bag?
Oh, they was individually in bag.
They had them
Bro,
bagged up.
wait, hold on. Read this story.
Okay. Border Patrol officers seized 10 live roosters in 2 separate incidents over the past 2 weeks, authorities said. According to a news release from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, agents confiscated 6 roosters on Tuesday and 4 on March 24th. In Tuesday's incident, officers referred to a pickup truck for a secondary inspection at the Juarez-Lincoln Bridge. CBP agriculture specialists discovered the roosters hidden in stockings under the front seat.
This
in the center console of the vehicle. Stockings.
Something is wrong. The roosters must have ingested some crack. That's
Well,
why they was hiding them.
How big was the stockings?
There's a picture there. Do you see the picture of the roosters in the stockings?
In the stockings.
But they said that they were alive. So why the hell are you hiding live roosters in stockings in the car?
In the front seat, under the front seat in the center console. In the March incident, which was the same location, they found 4 roosters in the center counter of a pickup truck. The driver was fined $300. According to regulations from the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, live birds, fresh eggs, and raw poultry are prohibited from Mexico to the country.
Oh, that's true, because you can't bring live animals through and you can't bring uncooked food through.
Ah, but you could bring a whole big ass fried fish.
I brought a whole big fried fish.
That fish
because it was cooked.
That fish was about 15 inches long.
It was 15 inches long, 3 pounds. And again, me and my father tore it down yesterday. I put it in the air fryer. I fried some plantain, put them on 2 separate plates, and we just ate like 2 savages in the night.
That must have been beautiful.
It was.
The roosters from both seizures were transferred to the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Veterinary Services.
Yes.
That is very nice. Freight trains derailing again. Some freight trains derailed in Maine. Several cars of a freight train derailed and caught fire early Saturday in rural Maine. Officials said the train operator said the 3 workers were hurt, but their injuries were not said to be life-threatening. That happened on Saturday. Crazy. Y'all got to stop riding trains.
I saw that too. Big shout out to Jasmine Webb. We had her in here today. She said it took her about 45 minutes on a train just to get on one run, just to get through the red line today.
Yeah.
From wherever she lives to where her work. 45 minutes on a damn train.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I don't want to sit on the train 45 minutes. That's a long time.
Me either.
Might as well just drive to work.
Last night, Netflix had everybody on an uproar.
Oh, they did.
Love is Blind, the live reunion delayed as Netflix pleads for patience. Did you try to watch it last night?
I absolutely forgot because I haven't finished watching the last 2 episodes. I do feel like this season of Love is Blind has been kind of dryish.
I think that what I've noticed after is that there's a script for each season.
Yeah, and it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
There's always somebody who gets chosen second.
Yep. There's always the super couple who you know is going to make it from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. There's always the couple who you're not really sure and you think that they're not going to make it and then they end up making it.
And then they end up making it.
Yes.
There's always the couple who like, you're like, oh, okay, they're good. And then at the altar, they'd be like, no. And you'd be like, ah, wow.
What happened? Yep.
So,
and then there's always that one girl who can't get over somebody else.
Yes.
And somebody else's lover. Yes. And then it's always that. It's always that.
So that all happened. But last night they were trying to do the reunion live.
But why?
Why?
But why?
Why?
Yeah, like nobody asked for the 3 episodes a week or something like that. Yep. And nobody asked for a live reunion because why do we need a live reunion? What, can we call in and talk to them?
Right.
What are we streaming? What are we doing it live for?
I don't know.
It's weird.
Don't know. I did try to watch it because I did get caught up last night and then went into the live, but it wasn't working. So Netflix highly anticipated live reunion Sunday for the season 4 cast of its reality dating show Love is Blind has been delayed after technical issues kept eager fans awaiting. Eventually, Netflix opted to take the show for streaming, announcing it would be available globally at 3 p.m. today, Monday. To everyone who stayed up late, woke up early, gave up their Sunday afternoon, we are incredibly sorry for the Love is Blind reunion. Did not turn out as we planned. We're filming it now, and we'll have it on Netflix as soon as humanly possible. Again, thank you and sorry. The second live show in Netflix history is expected to start at 8 p.m. A couple minutes after the scheduled time, Netflix tweeted, "Love is late. Hashtag Love is Blind Live will be on in 15 minutes," and then it never did come on, so it's supposed to be on at 3 p.m. today. And, I want to see it. I want to see what happens. Mm-hmm. And then this next story, Johnny was talking to us a little bit about it when he came in. There is a rat czar. NYC is raging war against rats.
I want you to use the comparison. We just got a nightlife czar.
And they have a rat czar.
They
have a rat czar.
Nasty.
Meet the woman leading the charge.
A
she is
woman?
The rat czar in New York City.
A woman leading, it couldn't be me. That's a man's job, and I'm not afraid to sound like a sexist because that's a man's job is to deal with rats.
Yeah, I can't get it. Do you have it? I can't get it. Rats don't run this city, allegedly.
Clearly they do.
It says allegedly. What's going on here now? All right. Okay.
Relax.
I can't get to it.
What is it?
The story about the rat czar.
What's it saying?
It's things and I don't know. NPR.
Oh, you gotta sign up to read it.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, they got a rat czar in New York City. Let me see what I can find. Rat czar. Czar is a fun word.
I don't understand. What is that? Just means king? What
Caesar.
Is oh.
A rat Caesar. Meet New York's rat czar. New York's rat czar will only succeed if she realizes that rats are not the enemy, an expert says. The former school teacher who's become New York's new rat czar may face an uphill battle to succeed. An urban rat expert said Kathleen Karate must realize that rats are not the enemy, and the real city rats are the men and women of bureaucracy. Somebody else says.
Shut up. Y'all got rats, and rats are a problem. So whoever's saying that obviously likes rats.
Yes, so Kathleen Karate's dedication to public service started when she was just 10. After seeing a dead rat on Long Island, she started a position in her neighborhood, her mother told the New York Times. Karate, a former elementary school teacher and city education department official, was appointed Wednesday as New York City's first director of rodent mitigation, with Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, describing her as a maestro. When I saw this job posting, I wasn't sure if it was real. Bloodthirsty is not a word you usually see in a job description, and it's certainly not a word I would usually describe myself, Karate said during a news conference. Karate will oversee the city's existing rat mitigation effort, including the rodent biologist Robert Corrigan at the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, the Office of Pest Control, and the citywide rodent task force. Rat mitigation is more than a quality of life issue. Rats are the symptom of systemic issues, including sanitation, health, housing, and economic justice, she said. You can't just deal with one part of the problem and call it day. Karate, who is being paid $155,000 a year for the position, outlined her plans.
How much?
$155,000. That's not a lot, is it?
I think that is a lot just to deal with some rats. Well, because she don't got to go out into the field and touch them, do she? Or she just got to direct her workers to go and do it?
She said, you'll be seeing a lot of me and a lot less of rats.
That's disgusting, but go ahead.
Michael Parsons, an urban rat expert and a visiting research scholar at Fordham University, told the Insider that karate will only succeed in reducing the city's rodent population if she realizes exactly who the actual enemies are. The rats are not the enemies. It's the people, he says.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think they're the enemy as well. I think there could be two enemies. One could be the people and the other could be the rats. Yeah. The rats are going to absolutely hate this announcement, but the rats don't run this city. They do.
Yeah. Yeah.
New York.
New York.
Run and Maine.
Oh, wow. And so that is the national news.
And we're going to go right into our entertainment news just to keep the ball rolling because we might run a little early. AI track featuring simulation of Drake and The Weeknd. So have you been hearing about this? They got Rihanna singing everybody's song too.
Yes.
Drake is singing Jay-Z songs. And they're starting, I think, was it Drake? Drake and somebody else have started a petition or suing the AI people for doing this. And I don't think this is right at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, why? They're suing it?
I think they're trying to, or putting a cease and desist or something. Drake and The Weeknd collaboration is perfectly mimicked on viral AI song amid speculation it could be publicly stunt for tech company. An AI-generated track featuring the simulated voices of Drake and The Weeknd went viral over the weekend, prompting speculation into a publicity stunt for a startup tech firm. The song, which is titled Heart on My Sleeve, was received widespread play on TikTok and Twitter. TMZ reported, added that the track was created with nothing but the use of AI programming. The start of the track features a stimulated young Metro introduction before transitioning into a beat heavy with bass. The simulation of Drake begins with the opening verse, then transitions into a chorus from an AI simulation of The Weeknd. A number of users speculated on who might have created the artificial music, including AppSumo Mitchell Cohen. I don't know. I'm not going to read the rest, but I do feel like this is terrible. I feel like this is an infringement on people's intellectual property and their voice and their imaging and their likeness and their everything.
So Rihanna should be suing.
Yeah, she should. I mean, well, they haven't taken her songs, but they have made her cover all these other songs.
Yeah.
This song is viral on all platforms right now, but I think it's all a genius marketing stunt, not by Drake, but by Saz Group. Here's a 30-second summary of the AI Drake song and the prediction of who's behind it. Let me see. Can I play it?
You might have to do it from your phone into the mic.
It won't let me play it anyways. Because I want to hear it. Because these things be sounding mad real. And that's scary. I don't like it. But I can't play it. But if I find it, I will play it for you.
Go ahead. I have a story that I have.
Go ahead.
A man was arrested after a gun was found in the quesadilla.
Say it one more time.
Man arrested.
After
gun found.
A gun was found.
In his quesadilla. Yeah.
How'd they find it?
It happened in Mississippi.
Read it to me because I want to know.
A passenger was arrested during a traffic stop last week in Picayune, Mississippi. In a news release on Thursday, officers made a traffic stop. During the traffic stop, Devin Mitchell, the passenger, reportedly hid a gun inside a quesadilla inside a Taco Bell bag. Officers searched the car and found methamphetamine, liquid heroin, and drug paraphernalia that were used in distribution amounts. Mitchell was arrested and charged with possession of controlled substance with intent to distribute while in possession of a firearm, possession of controlled substance, tampering with physical evidence, possession of a weapon, and possession of paraphernalia. The driver was cited for disregard for a traffic device, and she was released at the scene. But he hid the gun in the quesadilla. He put it in the quesadilla.
He put it in the quesadilla to hide it?
Yes. This is a picture of the gun in the quesadilla.
He thought that it was gonna, he thought they couldn't see it? Did he think he couldn't see it?
This is real stuff. This is real news. This is what happened. He really put it in the quesadilla.
Did he pretend like he was going to eat it? Because, like, what is it?
He
Like,
put a little fire sauce on it.
No, this is not my gun. This is my quesadilla.
This is a big piece of steak. That's it. That's the gun in the quesadilla. I just ran across that story. I'm sorry. I had to share that with y'all. I had to. I couldn't keep it to myself.
I think it's good. That's where I would hide my gun as well. Over the weekend, E40 accused the Sacramento Kings security of racial bias after election. Ejection. I am excited. What did I say? Erection?
Election.
Oh, okay. I didn't say erection because that would have been terrible.
That would have been racial bias after an erection. Oh no, that erection is too big. That's too big. You gotta get out of here.
My good thing with this is that at least Boston is not the most racist sports team, because actually Sacramento is. So to all of you guys who have so much to say about Boston being racist, Sacramento is also racist. So, ooh, write that in your headlines.
What the hell is she talking about?
You know how they always saying Boston sports teams are racist? Oh, because I was like...
No, because I'm thinking that Boston is rude.
Oh, no. They say Boston is the most racist sports teams in the whole entire world.
All those freaking... Remember they were calling Draymond monkey and all kind of thing when he was here.
That's not funny.
And they were... Remember they were assaulting all the baseball players and called them N-words when they were here baseball playing. So they though? Yeah, and then they made no apologies for it. They were like, yeah, we did it.
So?
And what? So you're right. We're racist and rude. We don't care. We're just rude all around.
E40 has accused the Sacramento Kings security staff of racial bias after he was ejected during the team's Game 1 playoff matchup against the rapper's beloved Golden State Warriors. Video emerged on social media Saturday at E40 in a verbal confrontation with King security. The situation was pacified when members of the Warriors security spoke to the rapper and escorted him off the floor. As E40 exited, he was met with more jeering from the Kings fans, who chanted 40 water, a nod to his line of non-alcoholic beverages.
They chanted 40 water? They're corny.
Is that a bad thing to chant 40 water?
I don't know.
While it was unclear why E40 was ejected, the rapper said in a statement Sunday that he was subjected to disrespectful heckling that ultimately led to him addressing one heckler in an assertive but polite manner. Yet shortly thereafter, King security approached me, assumed that I instigated the encounter, and proceeded to kick me out of the arena, E40 said in a statement. Unfortunately, it was yet another reminder that despite my success and accolades as a musician and entrepreneur, racial bias remains prevalent. Security saw a disagreement between a black man and a white woman and immediately assumed that I was at fault. Well, E40, yes. White women can do no wrong. Yeah. You don't know that by this time with all their accolades and all of their entrepreneurism. Then you set yourself up.
I mean, remember those videos that came out a couple of months ago with that white woman that was harassing the Patriots fan? Mm-hmm. That, I mean, even in that situation, they still found a way to try to blame
him
young man
for something.
Right? Yeah,
it's always white women tears have always been our kryptonite. Yeah, and they will continue to be. So you got to just not talk to them when they're being aggressive and drunk. Yeah. The East Bay legend has been a staple of Warriors games for decades, first in Oakland and then San Francisco. The rapper continued, I've attended countless NBA games throughout my lifetime and have always prided myself in my professionalism, so this experience has been jarring. E40 added that he was absolutely humiliated by the Kings security, called on the team to investigate the appalling conduct that transpired. And as they should, I feel like more fans should get kicked out of the games. I think that a lot of these people go there to be disruptive and get ridiculously drunk and to just say whatever they want under the guise that, oh, it's sports, we talk trash, we heckle. Yeah. Sometimes, oftentimes, or all the times, there should be consequences for you being a jackass.
Right. But E40 was ejected in this situation.
Yes, he was avoided.
Not the lady.
And that's what's effed up. Like this big prominent black man, musician, entrepreneur, all these things that's contributed to our society and everything like that gets ejected out of a game while she gets to sit there and keep on kikiing and
I must say, if E40 made that statement on his own, he is very well spoken. I like it.
Love it. Moneybagg Yo divides fans over his restaurant. So he opened up a new restaurant. Somebody else. Post Malone opened a Raising Cane's.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I want to go to it.
And he designed it. Like he did. It doesn't look like the regular. He designed the whole thing for himself, and I think that's really dope. And I didn't know that you can do that. So Moneybagg Yo, he opened up a new restaurant in a place.
Isn't Moneybagg Yo the one whose restaurant got shot up last week?
No, I think that was Yo Got. No. Oh. You ask that every rapper.
One day it's gonna be the right one.
Which one was it?
It was some Yo with a G.
Yo Gotti.
Okay.
Let's see. Here we go. Here is the story right here. Moneybagg Yo recently opened a brand new restaurant in Memphis, Tennessee, but the menu prices are causing the fans to debate what a good steak should cost. So before I get into this, how much do you think a good steak should cost?
I mean, it depends on which cut you get, but a good steak is gonna run you a good like $60.
That's
just
a lot.
The steak
seems like a lot to me.
What that's a la carte.
Located at Suite 121, 4202 Hacks Cross Road, Cache 42 was officially opened at the end of March. Though the CMG rapper owns the restaurant and was involved in every detail of its launch, he's not part of the day-to-day operations. The upscale restaurant offers a variety of delectable starters, entrees, and desserts, but fans appear to be shocked by the price of the 40-ounce tomahawk steak. For me, hearing 40-ounce tomahawk steak sounds expensive to me.
Sounds like $130.
It does sound that's what it sounds like to me as well.
Yeah.
According to the menu, the steak, which the restaurant promises is grilled up to perfection, is priced at $135.
Oh, yeah.
And comes with no sides, but for some fans, this is too expensive. Moneybagg Yo restaurant, so man high. This is what somebody said. Do he not remember where he was starving in them apartments? Be for real. 2 cry laughing emojis. One person was quoted saying, Moneybagg want $100 for a steak. I'll pay that, and he better come out and rap, another person tweeted. A third person joked, the price isn't the issue. It's what quality of food I'm going to get for the price, because I don't trust Moneybagg to cook me a $135 steak. I don't know, because if these people went to Salt Bay's restaurant, they would easily shell out $200, $300 for a piece of tomahawk steak.
These are people who are not used to fine dining, obviously, because I never even read the story, and I said, what, 138?
Yep.
So, yeah, that sounds about right. 40 ounces?
That's a 40 ounce of a tomahawk.
40 ounces of tomahawk. Do you know how many? 40 ounces is how many pounds?
Mad pounds.
16, 32,
4,
2
pounds. 3 pounds.
How much is pounds? 16 ounces?
I thought it was 15.
16 ounces.
16, 16,
So that's
20.
2 pounds plus 8 ounces.
That's a lot.
2.25 pounds of
that's smaller than my fish though.
2.5 pounds.
My fish was 3
steak.
pounds.
Yeah, but that's fish.
I know, but still.
Steak.
That's steak. That's a hearty piece of meat.
Yes.
First of all, you can't even digest that whole thing.
No, that's
gonna
for
take
like 3 people.
Yeah, and you're gonna eat that for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Due it all out one time.
Hardy. It's a hardy.
Somebody said, y'all N-words tweaking and clearly don't know about fine dining and steak. One person tweeted.
Who's that? I tweeted that?
I work in food distribution. A 10-pound box of steak is well over $1,500 these days. That's a discount for a porterhouse. Moneybagg Yo, triple salute, and I'm effing with it once I'm in the 901. I mean, I think that I would go for the experience of Moneybagg Yo's restaurant and paying $135 steak. Because again, like I said, down here, Salt Bay, Del Frisco's, all of them, y'all be running up in them and spending all kinds of $80, $90 on a steak for some chick.
When we were looking at the Brooklyn Chop House, we went, I think they had a fish dinner that was $100 and something.
Yep, they sure did.
So y'all got step your game up. Where's the restaurant?
And it's not like he's proposing the restaurant as some little steakhouse like a Longhorn. And I don't even play when y'all come to Longhorn because I love Longhorn. It's my favorite steakhouse and I don't care. Y'all acting like he opened the Longhorn Steakhouse with the steaks of $40. If you don't want to go, you are not his target market. Right. Do not spend your money there.
Right. But Longhorn got a little tomahawk steak.
They do.
Is not cheap either.
It's like $80, I believe, or something like that. But still, like that's a super franchise.
Yep.
I don't know what y'all thinking, but that's fine dining.
Oh, the outlaw ribeye at Longhorn is $29.79.
That's not
the tomahawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they don't. They got a good steak, by the way. If y'all want a nice little steak dinner, but y'all don't want to spend $135 like Moneybag Yo's restaurant, go down there to the Longhorn or Outback Steakhouse. That's nice too. Get a little blooming onion with your food.
They don't have that there.
They don't have that no more.
Oh, Outback. I thought it was Longhorn. You're right.
Damn, they took away the blooming onion. Jamie Foxx remains hospitalized. I was seeing a lot of this. Jamie Foxx remains hospitalized, recovering from a stroke. He had a stroke.
Oh, Jamie Foxx.
I didn't know. I just kept on seeing people saying, Jamie Foxx, hope you get well. I didn't know bro had a stroke.
Oh,
Over the weekend, fans were speculating about his condition because of the celebrities sending him get well wishes. That makes people think it's in bad shape. So he had a stroke and he is now recovering and steadily improving. Mm-hmm. Jamie Foxx is reportedly on the mend after suffering a medical complication. A separate source has told the outlet that production on Back in Action, the movie Foxx is currently filming, was shut down on Wednesday following his health scare. However, photos showed filming resuming the following day with the stand-in being used for the 55-year-old Oscar winner.
Is he 55?
He's old, huh?
Wow.
Fox's rep didn't immediately return page 6 requests for comment. Fans first learned of the day shift's actor condition after his daughter and co-host revealed that her dad was in recovery following the medical scare. Corrine, 29, took to Instagram.
She's 29. Can you believe that?
That baby?
That's crazy.
From the Fox family, we wanted to share that my father, Jamie Foxx, experienced a medical complication yesterday. Luckily, due to quick action and great care, he's already on his way to recovery. We know how beloved he is and appreciate your prayers. The family asked for privacy during this time. Much love, the Fox family. Good for him. I can't believe she's so grown.
She's so grown already.
That's his big daughter?
Yeah, so prayers up for Jamie Foxx. Hopefully he recovers quickly and soon and well.
Yes, praise up for him. I love me some Jamie Foxx. Lil Durk provides 2 students with $50,000 Howard U scholarships.
That's what I'm talking about.
As they should. I just feel like these rappers that are getting paid all kinds of $200,000, $300,000 to do a performance should be given back instead of putting a money bag sleeve on their arm all the way up to their shoulder and showing us on the internet like we ain't poor. Lil Durk is giving back to his Chicago community in a major way. The Windy City rapper has launched the Durk Banks Endowment in partnership with Howard University and Amazon Music. On Friday, Lil Durk announced the Durk Bank Endowment Fund, which is a scholarship initiative aimed at giving students from Chicago scholarships to attend Washington, D.C.'s historically black college and universities, Howard University. The initiative was created with the assistance of Amazon Music and Durkio's nonprofit organization, Neighborhood Heroes. The plan for the Durk Banks Endowment is to offer 2 students $50,000 scholarships towards their freshman year enrollment at Howard University. Additionally, Neighborhood Heroes and Durk are donating $250,000 directly to Chicago students receiving Howard U's graduation retention access to continued excellence, which is called GRACE grant,
nice.
Which assists students with adding funding to help with their urgent financial needs. Overall, the goal is to get students to stay in school and graduate on time. Good for him.
Yeah.
He says, I feel it's my responsibility.
Durk is the one with like the blondie dreads?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel it's my responsibility to reach back to the kids, especially those that are growing up in my community. And this initiative is that he said in the press release. These kids have to be our biggest investment as they're our future leaders. They are destined for greatness, and I'm encouraging others to join my team's effort to help pave their way. And yes, get your friends involved.
Absolutely.
So that you can help more kids. And I love to hear it.
I love to hear it. I love to see it. That's awesome.
Schwarzenegger. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. We've heard about these people donating $10,000 and stuff. Like, that's not enough. So $50,000 is very, very significant.
That is extremely significant. That gets you through the actual school.
Yep.
And Schwarzenegger filled a utility trench, not a port. What is this? What is he doing? What is going on?
A utility trench.
The giant pothole that Arnold Schwarzenegger, how do you say his name? Schwarzenegger said he recently filled on a street in his Los Angeles neighborhood of Brentwood was actually a trench that had been dug for utility work, according to the city. Oh, Lord. Southern California Gas Company had covered the trench with temporary asphalt that was to be replaced with a permanent surface. We have notified the gas company of the issue and the need for them to maintain the site pavement until their permanent pavement is constructed, the statement said. I'm not sure why this story is interesting. I'm going to not continue to read it because I don't care.
You don't want to?
I don't want to. It just doesn't make any sense. Let me just take it out completely.
All right. I'm not opposed to that at all.
Today's discussion, a quick discussion from our producer. The video has been trending. A black man is being criticized for teaching his 11-year-old son to drive his 18-wheeler and letting him drive in between loads. He needs to stay in a child's place. Others are applauding the father for teaching him the skill. Is he wrong for this? I'm gonna...
How old is the child?
I don't know. Let's see. Let us see. Oh, he looks like to be 11 years old. A black man is being criticized for teaching his 11-year-old son how to drive his 18-wheeler and letting him drive in between loads. He needs, okay. So, I mean, he's 11 and he's driving an 18-wheeler.
That's not safe.
I don't think it's safe at all.
But yeah, that's not safe. An 18-wheeler?
An 18-wheeler.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of irresponsible. I don't think that's okay.
I don't know if I.
Of course, you want to be able to teach your children life skills and skills to have as they grow up, but I think that's a little too young for that.
Caller, you're live.
I waited for y'all to come back from vacation, and I just want to say welcome back. Secondly, I don't see nothing wrong with the father's doing.
Why though? Because he's 11. Why? Yeah.
He's 11. It's best that he starts young. White people do it all the time. Why can't we do it? It's okay when they do it, but when we do it, is a problem?
I don't know, because I feel like I don't know if this was a movie or real life, that the father had let his 14-year-old drive and then they got into a really bad car accident.
Yep, and they killed a bunch of people.
That
happened in real life.
That was real. Yeah, yep. I remember that story. And situations like this is an 18-wheeler that he hasn't had enough experience kind of just driving, defensive driving, all those things. It's good that he's learning, yes, but I don't know why he can't learn not on the actual road.
Yeah, that's a large capacity vehicle.
Yeah.
If he has nowhere else to practice, so on the road is the best place for him to practice.
I mean, he can practice in a car, in a parking lot, or something like that. You know, like
to drive a car.
You gotta remember, these kids are in the country. It's not like they're in Boston where there's a lot of.
Yeah, but then what if an accident happens? You have to think safety first.
That's
what
why
if
you have insurance. It's an accident. He has insurance. It's an accident.
Yeah, but we're not just talking about. We're talking about not things like life can't be covered by insurance.
Right.
And
the insurance would not cover the young man driving.
Yeah, so because he's not supposed to drive.
Well. I don't think it's nothing wrong. I think it's a great job that a father is teaching his son how to do something at a young age. So when he get older, he can make that his profession.
No, I agree with you. I think that we all should teach our children to do things at a good age, but there are laws in place for a reason.
Right.
And he can't even drive a regular car. So you have to have a special license to drive an 18-wheeler, and he doesn't have any of that. So
I would not be opposed to him teaching his 11-year-old son how to drive a car.
Me either.
Off-road. But the 18-wheeler I'm definitely opposed to.
Would you be okay if your 11-year-old could drive you to work every day? Would you be okay with that?
In a car?
In a car?
Yes,
I
in a
wouldn't.
car.
I would
That's it.
want my 11-year-old to drive, but I would not be okay with him driving me to work every day. That's not his responsibility.
He's 11 years
But
old.
He's
listen,
11
I'm
years
saying
old.
For a kid to be advanced at something that is a gift.
It's fine to
Utilize
be
it.
advanced. I think you're missing the entire point. It is very fine to be advanced. It is very fine to teach him how to drive a vehicle and to get his skills up. But I do not think it's okay to have him driving on the open road, an 18-wheeler at 11 years old.
Not
You
at
can't
all.
convince me that that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not a point of him not teaching him stuff. Yes, teach him. Teach him. Go in a parking lot, teach him all the things. Ride him around wherever he wants, where there's not pedestrians, where there's not other cars on the roads, where there's not a whatever. At 11-year-old, 18-wheeler, I think it's great that he knows how to drive. I don't think that it's okay for him to be driving on the real road during regular traffic.
I agree.
Have a
sorry.
blessed day.
You
Thank
too.
Bye-bye.
But that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It is very interesting. Some of the comments was he's learning a skill on what appears to be an open road. We are assuming there are cars coming, which they are not. I will say his skill trumps many within the actual thread. Hope he's staying focused, staying under adult supervision, and of course safe. 12 plus 1 years of government school plus 4 years of college, no marketable skills, and massive debt. This man's teaching his kids skill is not the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I disagree with it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not in agreement with that at all.
Let me see what they are the same teaching life skills. I feel the father is there with him and he's safe to go. Yeah, but do it responsibly. White parents let their 7. Yeah, I mean, I get the points. I do think that kids should learn real skills early on in life. I'm just very afraid of the legal implications, the physical things that could happen. I'm just really more concerned about safety and the legality of all of that.
I alluded to it earlier, but safety more than anything has been on my mind, especially after being on this last trip. We went on a trip. Everybody had a good time. We were returning from a party. They had shuttle boats for us to bring us back to the boat. One person thought, just to do something, I have this skill. I'm able to jumped, missed the boat that he was jumping onto and ended up getting his foot cut off. You have to think about those kind of things. You have to think about the repercussions that can occur from the decisions that you make. You can't just go out there willy-nilly doing anything just because you feel like you can do it or just because you can do it. That is not the name of the game. You have to think about the repercussions that can occur. And these are life-changing things that can happen if you are not more responsible for the actions that you take.
And onto that story, since it is the news, a tourist aboard a cruise ship in the port suffered a tragic accident in St. Martin in which he was lost part of his leg near Bobby Marina around 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Last Tuesday, according to the police, preliminary investigations indicate that the victim had jumped into the sea and swam towards a water taxi anchored on one of the piers. He then tried to climb onto the back of the water taxi and got his foot caught in the propeller, resulting in the loss of part of his leg. The victim was provided immediate medical attention and he was immediately transported to a medical center, which is currently in critical but stable condition. Authorities are currently investigating the incident. The man was seriously injured in St. Martin and his leg came into contact with the boat's propeller. The injured man, who has been identified now, was a cruise passenger. According to the reports, the man was on the pier on Tuesday where there were 2 water taxis supposedly. One of them was maybe being filled when the man reportedly jumped into the water to go onto the water taxi. The man was injured by the boat propeller. I'm not sure why the videos of the gruesome incident have been making the rounds on social media. People can be heard screaming and crying in the graphic video of the incident unfolds.
Yeah.
So again, grown people often still make mistakes. That means kids definitely can make a mistake.
Yep.
This is not to tie the 2 stories together because obviously that little boy, he's driving the hell out of that 18-wheeler. That baby is driving that 18-wheeler. So it's not a case of, the father obviously taught him an amazing skill. It's a great skill to have. I'm just not sure about him being on the open road, whether there's cars are coming or not. It's just crazy. Yeah. But yeah. There's videos of this. You guys can Google the video of St. Martin. We were right there. We were very, very close to where it happened. We were actually waiting to get on the same ferry that he was trying to get on. And we decided to not get on it because can't do that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is crazy. With that said, people, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you guys for welcoming us back. We will be back in full-fledged tomorrow. And we'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining us. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. Make sure you get your bars 2 tickets. It's going down this Saturday, and we are meeting up at Savour at the end for a little champagne toast to congratulate our 3 years in business. So if you haven't gotten your tickets already, you can get a stress-free VIP, or you can just meet us there and meet us at any place on the route, and you can get your trinkets and your crawl stuff. And then you can meet us at Savour at the end, where we'll have some food and some champagne for all of those who joined us. So we're really excited to celebrate with you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to our app that should be dropping soon. That is coming very, very soon. With that said, people, we are officially out of here, and we'll see you later. I'm just making noise while I get the commercials running.
Bye, y'all. See you later.
The only thing that does matter is great music, and you will find it here.
The all-new Spark FM.
2023 is the 50th anniversary of our beloved hip-hop. Join Spark FM as we tour our favorite black-owned high